Welcome back to the channel. Today we did a day trip to the John Day fossil beds, specifically the Painted Hills unit. It's only about an hour from our house. Kind of neat to see snow in the pass already.
Coming over the summit, one of our favorite views is this little butte. Us, it looks like it should be like the Misty Mountains. The Lonely Mountain from Lord of the Rings, well, from The Hobbit, actually. Looks like there ought to be the dragon Smog flying out of there any moment now.
This is another one of those close to home, but we've never actually gone and checked it out before. We'd already turned off the main highway, headed towards it, and this is before you even reach the park. There's some really neat landscape to see. All the way into the entrance of the National Monument area is paved. Once you get up here, it does turn to gravel, but the gravel roads weren't in too bad a shape. The area's got some pretty amazing scenery. They have a little visitor center there. Of course, the cabin was closed up. No one was manning it. It is late October, so that's no big surprise. The restrooms are just pit toilets, but they were clean and well kept. And this looks like a really nice picnic area if you happen to be running through and want a spot to stop for a nice lunch. This looks like it. The John Day fossil beds are actually broken into 3 different units: Clarno unit, the Painted Hills unit, and the Sheeprock unit. Each unit's about an hour and a half away from each other, so it would take a little while to see all 3, especially in one day. We opted for the Painted Hills unit as it was the closest one to our house. I've driven through the area of the Sheeprock unit in this really gorgeous slot canyon area along the river, but I've never really stopped and checked that out either. And I've driven past the turnoff for the Painted Hills unit, but never been back here before today. Most of the trails here were really short. This is just a dead-end trail. You walk up to the viewpoint and then walk back to the parking lot. And from up at the viewpoint, you can actually look back and see the parking lot where we were parked. Seeing all the different shades of color was really neat. The other thing that was kind of fascinating to us was that a lot of the colored soil areas are like sterile soil. There's nothing growing on them. Yet, literally feet away in the same valley, you've got soil that's healthy enough to have grasses and other vegetation growing on it, but these colored areas are just void of all vegetation. The colors were so vibrant and so clear, from the reds to the yellows to the greens. This is the end of the trail itself, where you have the overlook, and you look way down there, you can see the parking lot and the cars, but it's only like a quarter mile up. And Carroll Rim, there's a trail that leads to the top of that. You can kind of see it cut along the butte there. Several people were hiking that one, but we opted not to take that trail today. for the most part, the trails were well marked, graveled, easy to maneuver. Some not so much. This is the Painted Cove Trail loop. I walked the whole loop and kept it all on video the whole time. Just like the other areas of the park where the colored soil is, it's just devoid of all vegetation, which I find really interesting. Wouldn't mind seeing some information as to why that is. This trail, it started out pretty good, well marked, gravel. When you get to the other end, you'll see here in a little bit that the trail kind of degrades a bit, could use some work. Now this isn't a national park, but it is a national monument area. All 3 units are classified as a national monument. And because of that, there is no drone flying in the area. It was a lot of fun. We packed a picnic lunch and had lunch up there while enjoying the views. And of course, Sonia brought her camera so she could take some pictures. And this is the section of the trail that could definitely use some reworking or some upkeep. Definitely wouldn't want to walk through there after a rain. You can tell it gets pretty mucky. You get down on the trail a little bit further and it turns back to gravel, and they've got some built-in steps into the hillside and some boardwalk leading back to the vehicles. So this part of the trail again is in really good shape. Just that one section needs some work. We were kind of surprised, even though we were there in late October, of how many people were there driving through. We expected to see 1, maybe 2 other cars being on a Wednesday in the middle of the week on a cold day in October, but it was amazing that we saw at least a dozen other vehicles up there. Bumped into a few people on some hikes. The change in color is fascinating. How it can have the tan and the red right next to each other. I don't necessarily agree with how they say it happened, but that's for each person to decide on their own. The Leaf Hill Trail, it was okay. They had a very, very small display, and I failed to videotape that, but it shows some of the different leaf fossils they have found. There's this hill to the right, just on the other side of that fence. We'll get a better shot of it here in a little bit. That's just covered in shale. And I want to say it was the 1940s, maybe the 1950s, when some scientists came up here and spent some time going through all of the shale. And they pulled thousands of samples of fossilized leaves and other vegetation off of this one hill. And we saw some of the shale near the path and looked at them, but we didn't see any fossilized leaves. And this is the last trail we did. Several of these trails are only a 1/4 mile round trip out and back. We really like the white color on that formation on the other side of the road. It's just amazing. You can go back here and the landscape is standard Central Oregon landscape, and then you take a corner and there's this bright red hill in the middle of it all. It just kind of throws you as to how did it get there? How did it form? And we'll never know because we weren't here when it happened, but it's intriguing to see these things, and it's glorifying to see God's creation and just know that He did all this. It was definitely a fun day. nice day trip to get out and do something. The RV's been winterized for the winter. Right now, we don't have any plans to take it out at this point. We might this winter, but we'll see. We're kind of debating possibly going to Arizona for a little bit to Quartzsite, but we'll see. Thanks for watching.